Saturday mornings as a kid, you'd find me in front of the old RCA. There were white hats on white horses with silver saddle to save the day. It was Roy and Gene that taught me to, well, keep my living clean. I guess you could just say they taught me how to be a better human being. You see, that's the way that I grew up. The old 1950s and 60s westerns, where there was a right and wrong and there wasn't just floating along the center of the line. And that's what we deal with Dry Creek. You see, Dry Creek is a town out of the 1880s, but it has modern challenges, and that's how we learn. Every segment of Dry Creek, it's not a teaching lesson, but it will help you to bring out what's important to you, what's really important on the inside. Everybody knows where Dry Creek is because it's inside of each and every one of us.
What the heck are these things? I don't know. You know, it looks like stairs have been flattened by something really heavy.
Well, the preacher's been telling me about a staircase to heaven.
I'm going to tell you boys something. You ever think that maybe it's a staircase down to the other place?
I'm already on that staircase.
Yeah, according to the preacher, you sure are.
Let's go to town, boys. Jeez. Let's go to town.
Morning, Bucky.
Hey,
Bucky. Hey, you got time to shoe my horse today for me?
Yep, got 2 shoes to do, and then I can get on your horse right away.
That'd be just right.
Where you been going with this horse?
Now, don't ever mind. Just take your time. I like the job you do. I'll be down in the saloon, you see. So the longer you take, the better job I get. But I'll be in the saloon. Okay?
All right, say
Thank
hello
you,
to
sir.
her from me. spent all your money.
Man, old Bunky, he is slower than molasses, Four Mountains. We gonna be here all day. All day.
Good morning. Where are all the other kids this morning?
Their folks went to work for the railroad.
For the railroad? Well, I guess it's just you and me then.
Well, okay.
You can't walk out on me now. I got one more coach trip left on the schedule.
I want to work for the railroad. I've got a family to think
Oh,
about.
come on. I need your help. One
I'm
more
not driving
trip.
the stage for you or anybody anymore.
One more trip.
No.
Oh, gee.
Boys, Benjamin's everything all right?
There's no law against not keeping your word, is there, Sheriff?
No, sir, there's not. But I tell you, this damn railroad's been making everybody crazy.
I'm tired of hearing about the damn railroad, Sheriff.
I understand, but we just got to
It's
keep the peace.
ruining our life. It's ruining our life.
Well, people, it's progress.
Progress. I'm tired of the word.
Morning, Sheriff.
Morning, Lester.
Well, I found out now what's going on. You got 2 stagecoaches. I guess what's happened, that railroad's put you out of business, huh?
Yeah, Les, this is just terrible. This progress and the railroad coming through. I just don't know what I'm going to do.
You mean the last coach?
The last coach.
Let me tell you something. There's going to be a lot of good people in Dry Creek. I'm talking about women and children and old folks that's worked all their life. This is their town, Dry Creek. And this railroad, you wait and see. It's going to make a move away. It's going to ruin this town.
Well, there's good people right there. That's Ellie Smith's hardware store, leaving in that wagon out of town.
20 years in this town. He and his family heading for greener pastures.
Man, that explains them flattened down staircase things we seen out there. That ain't stairs. That's the tracks for the railroad, ain't it?
Those tracks don't even come to Dry Creek.
The bell at the schoolhouse. One kid come out of there today I seen.
Man, Dry Creek's just gonna dry up.
Vision. Progress. Iron Horse. I don't know.
Yep. See, the preacher was right. Them people around here will follow them tracks wherever they lead them. Sure will.
I'm getting tired of you and your preacher. Y'all ought to follow my tracks. I'm heading to the saloon. And I'll even buy you a drink, Sheriff.
Make it 2.
Yep, I ain't following Tom's tracks, because they'll be raft after that.
On board, Sheriff. I'm
I'm following you.
Be sure to tune into Dry Creek every Tuesday night, 9:30 Eastern on In-Country Television, and you can keep up with all the things going on around the Rockin' M. You've got Cowboy Tom, you've got Terry Smith, and you've got Power of Four Mountains and myself to take you into Dry Creek each week. Where's Dry Creek at? It's inside each and every one of us.
Oh, you caught me about to going in the wrong door. I was trying to go to the general store and get me some liniment from my horse.
Pretty early to be drinking cold liniment.
Tell me, boys, what's got Terry all in an uproar? Is it that preacher?
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you, Sheriff, you won't believe this. He went to church, and now he won't even eat his supper not unless he talks to the preacher. The preacher says it's all right for him.
Can't believe it.
Howdy, boys. You look out. Look out. Preacher's after me. He's looking all over town for me.
Sure. Sure.
Terry, have a seat. I hear your horse is a little lame without bobbing his head. He needs a little lemonade.
Yeah, he needs some strong lemonade.
I think you need a little more than him. Have one on me, Bart.
All right.
Project progress, Les. I need your help.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. This man's dad, God rest his soul, gave me my first job. Guess what? Cleaning up stagecoach corrals and then teaching me to drive stagecoach. And I'm telling you one thing, that's the reason why everybody has been able to do so good. You guys got jobs. And Sheriff, by the way, that's how you get your bail money for old Tom over here.
It's not like you hadn't been there before.
Money that we all got from your daddy by learning how to drive that stagecoach. So, you know something?
Stage? Why, fellas, I worked stage. I worked the tube stove at the Birdcage Lounge, and I took care of the stage.
Oh, were you like an actress or what?
I appreciate you boys helping me out. I really do.
Let me ask you. Gotta ask my boys.
Yeah.
Power 4 Mountains, what do you think about taking care of the horses and cattle at the ranch?
You're the boss.
Boys, are we going stagecoaching?
Boss, we got you covered.
Guess what, boys?
I'm with you. You might hear a drink now. I want to hear more about the birdcage.
You got a deal.
Thank you, sir.
You bet.
Dang, it's dustier already.
Aren't you an arrogant son of a gun?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ladies, for riding with us. We really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Lester, it's been a lot of years since I've seen you up there in that box.
You know, it kind of feels good, too. And I'll tell you, your job's got a lot easier with everybody leaving Dry Creek.
Well, especially since you got Cowboy Tom up there with you. Good riddance.
It's a lot better box than you got. They ain't got no bars on them up here. You think you can remember how to work them ribbons?
Well, I think so. You know something? We got the president of the railroad with us. We got to give him a good ride. Have you ever shot one of those ham bones before?
Well, I was on the receiving end one time at my first wedding. I'll tell you, they had some pistols that day.
You had a shotgun with it?
Well, they had pistols.
Jeez. You guys ready back there?
Yo,
Benjamin, we'll see you down the road, my friend.
see you later, lads. Thanks for all your help.
You bet. Okay? Jack, James.
You know, you ladies won't be rocking in this dusty old coach once that train line's through.
Well, honey, in my line of work, I've done my share of rocking.
You might have spent a little more time with McGuffey's reading.
Dry Creek has started out kind of a grassroots movement. People wanting quality family programming and the Western back, family programming. So if you own a business out there and would like to become part of the Dry Creek family that believes in family programming, please contact us today. You won't have any trouble getting a hold of us because everybody knows where Dry Creek is. It's inside of each and every one of us.
dynamite, dynamite, dynamite. Oh.
Tom, can you believe it? 4 mountains showing up. He always comes at the right time.
Hey, driver, get these nags moving. I got a railroad to build.
We're not going anywhere, and it's your man that's up there dynamiting.
Let's get going anyway. Hey, I'm an important man. Do you have a carriage or a wagon or something I can get to my railroad?
Let me tell you, out here, you're just a man. You're just a man.
Any of you cowboys got a cigar?
We don't have no cigars out here, but I'll tell you what, we got some chewing tobacco. Tom, give him some chewing tobacco. Try that, Mr. Railroad Man. Why don't you just go over and sit down and leave us alone?
You know, you and your big shot railroad put a lot of people out of work. You know, sooner or later, we ain't none of us gonna even have enough money to buy chewing tobacco.
On Dry Creek, we just don't have the men that are the characters. We've got some pretty good female characters. Matter of fact, they kind of rule the roost around Dry Creek. You take the lady that owns the saloon, she's really the moneybags in town. And then the dance hall gal, she's one of the most funniest ladies I've ever come across, and you're going to love her. And then there's Gladys. You see, Gladys likes to flap her jaws in the breeze at her clothesline. Chances are, even from where you're watching this, some of the news came from Gladys. Come on. I promise we're going to have more dogs in Dry Creek, too. It's getting ready to come back, so let's watch. Let's see where we can fit you in, okay? I promise. We'll have lunch.
Look at those stagecoach hands. They don't know enough to come in out of the rain. You wouldn't find railroad folks doing like that.
Do you know why I'm on this stage?
No, ma'am.
My son needs his medicine, and the stage is no longer running because of the train.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
You know, we only have one boy in school now because of your railroad coming through. All the people have moved away, and I don't even have anyone to teach. I have to leave town so I can try to find another job.
You know, I've been thinking. We need to get your boy his medicine, and we can get it through the railroad. And the railroad, we'll need the stagecoach to get to the railroad to bring it back to you. And the school marm, she'll need school supplies, and the railroad can bring those, and we'll need the stagecoach to go from the railroad back to town to deliver all this stuff. Oh no, the dynamite, the dynamite. We gotta stop the dynamite. Hey driver, you need to get me to the railroad.
Couldn't help but hear you. That's good news. You know, you're a pretty good guy. We'll get you up to your men. You can stop that dynamite. We'll get 4 mountains. He'll take you there.
Well, there's hope for the railroad yet, buddy.
Well, I'll tell you what, you got more stuff in your general store than L.E. Lewis has in Dry Creek at the general store.
Yeah, look, they got candy.
Oh, jeez.
Let's get some.
We don't have no licorice. All we've got is peppermint.
Peppermint's fine, boss. Can we have some? I like peppermint.
How much is it? 2, there's only 2 of us. Oh, how much is it again?
2 cents a stick.
2 cents a stick. It's the last money in the city that I'm spending on you. In Dry Creek, that would cost a penny. But this isn't Dry Creek.
Why don't you go back to Dry Creek then?
Maybe we will, but we got to get your candy and let's go. We don't have time to spend here in the general store that costs too much money. The president of the railroad invited us up here not to spend all day in the general store.
I like candy. Hey, Les. You know what they tell me they call this contraption? Call it an iron horse.
Wonder if you have to warm it.
I don't know.
Wonder where you feed it at, Tom.
They say that they feed it on the back end, and we feed on the front end, so what is that all about?
I don't know, but I'd sure hate to be the fella that has to clean up behind it. You know something? Solid steel. How do you brand steel? You can't brand steel. Let me ask you something. Stagecoach from here to Springfield takes how long?
That's a 2-day trip.
How about in this thing?
The guy said 8 hours.
Railroad president said 8 hours?
8 hours.
I'll tell you. You know something? Progress isn't that bad, is it?
My golly, it's going to be around, isn't it?
As long as men keep falling in love with the ladies, and those ladies keep having babies, we're going to have progress.
Yes, sir.
And this thing is going to be around long after you're gone.
Stagecoach wheels are rolling and rocking into town. Pulls up at the depot where the people gather round. They all came here from parts unknown, seeking simpler lives and a place where truth and honor is daily recognized. Welcome all to Dry Creek, a relic of the past, where a man's good word and a handshake is a bond that's bound to last. The western town of Dry Creek, where good folks come and stay, and the only code of conduct is to live the cowboy way. Steel pathways of the iron horse, encroaching modern ways. Progress is a future far too fast and arrives these days. Some folks prefer a slower pace and neighbors of like minds. If home is where the heart is, and give our town a try. Welcome all to Dry Creek, a relic of the past, where a man's good word and handshake is a bond that's bound to last. Western town of Dry Creek, where good folks come and stay, and the only code of conduct is to live the cowboy way. The only code of conduct is to live the cowboy way.
Let me tell you where Dry Creek came from. It actually came from each one of you that have written me emails and also followed me on YouTube. It's grown organically, which is really a neat thing from the people, asking you, what would you like to see on television? Well, of course, I'm kind of a Westerner at heart and always have been all my life. And I was kind of the right person to throw together some ideas, and then you kind of mixed them all up, and the mixture came out as Dry Creek. And that is what you're watching now, Dry Creek. It's what's inside of each one of us in this busy world that we're finally getting back to, looking at, smiling at each other. And you know something? Just being plain nice. You know, everybody knows where Dry Creek is because it's inside of each and every one